Muhammad Saleh is working in a small shop in Bulo Kasap, Johor, when he is persuaded to take a mysterious job in Thailand.
Naik polu ni, tiap-tiap hari pergilah kedai. Nak cari orang ni nak pergi. Pergi siap kata dia. Pergi bandar dia kata. Kata dia makan senang, semua beras banyak. Orang siap ke apa dia kata beras banyak. Ikutlah cakap dia. Saya memang suka lah, semua orang suka. Dari Bulo Kasap 24 orang.
After an arduous 700-kilometer journey by train, Muhammad finds himself on a jungle construction site in Thailand. Here he receives just a few grains of the promised rice. For Muhammad is a slave of the Japanese, and he will be working on the infamous Death Railway.
Kerja lah, buat jalan ke tepi. Itulah kerja, siang malam kerja lah. Yang malam lain malam, siang lain orang, tukar-tukar lah. Orang ramai, ada Cina, ada Melayu, ada campur-campur lah. Orang putih pakai ni, spender. Kalau ada baju, orang putih dia. Teruk kerja semua jual. Bukan kodi, hamdi.
Merciless Japanese overseers force these slave workers to toil in appalling conditions, with minimal food and in all weathers, whether drenching rain or searing sun.
Kacapi merah tu 8 orang pikul. Dia nak dijak tu, tak dijak dia marah ni. Nak dah mewah. Dah kena dah ni. Tijak, terajang, tempeling, macam-macam cara dari Jepun.
Every day, rail workers die like flies in the tormenting conditions. They are buried by the track.
Satu hari 40, 30, 20 satu hari mati. Buat lubang besar macam ni, buang aja. Itu yang moderat orang itu habis mati.
On the 16th of October 1943, the last nail is hammered in and the Burma Railway is officially declared open. More than 13,000 Allied prisoners and 70,000 Asian slave laborers perished during its construction. More than half who worked on the Death Railway from Malaya never returned. A life lost for every railway sleeper laid.
24 orang Bulo Kasap. Yang balik 4 orang ni saya cerita tu.
At the time, in occupied Malaya, no one knows anything about the horrors taking place in the jungles of faraway Burma. The Japanese still claim that they are building a greater Asia for Asians. But for many people in Malaya, this is turning out to be a hollow promise.
Kita berharap sangat kedatangan Jepun ni datangkan satu rahmat kepada kita, terutama sekali dari segi barang-barang yang akan dibeli dengan murah. Tapi sebaliknya apa yang berlaku ialah kita berada dalam satu suasana yang boleh dianggapkan neraka dunia. Saya masih ingat tentang kadang-kadang yang susah nak pakaian, tak ada kain, kita terpaksa gunakan goni untuk jadikan tutup aurat kita.
Shortages like this forced many to find extreme solutions.
Kalau ada jenazah yang dikafankan dengan kain putih, dan biasa berlaku pada malamnya orang pergi korek mayat, ambil kain putih tu untuk nak guna untuk pakai, biasa berlaku.
When your back is against the wall and you have no other choice, somehow the human mind finds some answer to this sort of things. So when you're hungry, you find some way to find food at all.
每天晚上就去扒人家的木梳扒人家的番薯吃，结果我忍不住，就晚上就人家养的羊，就吃他的羊奶，我再把人做乞丐，拿个一颗人家吃不完的稀饭拿回来吃。
The situation worsens when in October 1943 the Japanese hand over the 4 northern Malay states to Thailand. It's an expression of gratitude for granting Japanese armies safe passage in 1941. But for the Malays, the loss of these states deepens the resentment towards the Japanese, especially since this is a major rice-growing area.
Oh tu yang makan ubi, makan kapur ni dapat diambil kan. Kung habis, tak menang.
This food war is hardest for the anti-Japanese guerrilla fighters, the MPA-JA, holed up in their jungle strongholds. Since its formation at the end of 1941, the MPA-JA has fared badly. They lack leadership, training, and food. They depend on Chinese villages for essential supplies. This puts many people at risk, for the notorious Japanese police, the Kempeitai, has built up an extensive network of spies, all happy to betray their neighbors.
That person who is arrested goes into the Kempeitai hands. He might be a healthy young man. Probably you may find him 5 or 6 months later coming out as a walking skeleton, because inside the prison they were given all sorts of tortures to extract information.
One especially notorious torture technique used by the Kempeitai is now called waterboarding. In occupied Malaya, its victims referred to the technique as taking Tokyo wine.
The victims were made to lie on a bench, long bench. Then a rubber hose will push through the mouth. A wet handkerchief or neckerchief will cover the eyes and the nose. Turn on the tap. Allow water to rush in. And when the stomach is filled up, they put a plank, 2 or 3 soldiers will jump on the stomach till the water is forced out through the nose, any orifice might go on. Blood will be coming out. Tokyo wine is the name used to tell people it's water torture.
Yap Tek Min is 16 when the Japanese arrest and torture him and his father for having links with the MPA-JA. 2 months later, Yap escapes into the jungle where he joins a guerrilla brigade. He becomes obsessed with seeking vengeance.
因为我的家受到这华人的走狗啊，我也给他打得很惨，我家里面也受害很多，是一个报复心啊。
For the teenager, taking revenge is a thrilling rite of passage.
第一次打汉奸的时候，不是怕，很高兴，因为开枪看有倒在地上，我有一开，很高兴，不是怕，很兴奋，打到来高兴，是报复的心，是这样。
During the occupation, the Japanese play off the different races of Malaya against each other. They murder and torture many Chinese, but often give the Malays jobs as administrators and policemen. This divide and rule strategy is a blueprint for disaster. A bloody sequence of events unfolds in the village of Sungai Lui in Negri Sembilan. Land is fertile here, crops easy to grow, and this has drawn both Malays and Chinese to the area. Sungai Lui's rich pickings have also attracted the communist MPA-JA guerrillas who are desperate for food. To protect the village, the Japanese post a Malay guard.
Dia sibuk memasang toha lambang Jepun tu lah, kain putih dengan kain merah tu, dia pasang sini. MPA-JA ada dalam bekan. Bila dia tengok ya, dia pun tangkap. Dia bawa hutan tu, dia tembak mati lah.
The Japanese soon find out that their Malay guard has been murdered and dispatch more than 100 soldiers to punish Sungai Lui. Officers call the villagers together and separate Malays and Chinese. Both fear the worst.
Bangi. Abang tu dia tanya, tak tahu, semua tak tahu. Cina ni lah. Komandan ni kumpulkan orang lelaki, kanak-kanak depan orang lelaki dewasa. Orang perempuan dia masukkan dalam kedai tu, pada tepat 12.30 dia bagi order machine gun.
After killing the men and children, the Japanese set fire to the shop houses with all the women still inside. The Malays can only watch helplessly.
Orang banyak mati kelempangan di depan tu. Nasib baik dia Dia kata dia Melayu, baliklah. Dia suruh balik.
It's this kind of atrocity that drives a wedge between the different races. As the Japanese empire crumbles, this divisive strategy will push Malaya to the brink of a civil war. At the beginning of 1944, the British counterinsurgency unit Force 136 ramps up aid to anti-Japanese forces fighting in Malaya. Until now, these had been dominated by Chinese communists. Now, it's time to bring Malays into the war against the occupiers.
Pakcik nak menyelamatkan tanah air, tak ada tanya gaji tak ada. Tak ada, bukan sekolah ni. Gaji berapa sebulan baru nak pergi, tak ada. Pakcik nak menyelamatkan tanah Malaya ni, pakcik pergi.
One Nick's decision to join Force 136 terrifies his parents, who still fear the Japanese.
Ayah pakcik kata, kamu jangan pergi, dia kata. Kalau mau pergi masuk gerila, aku kena potong kepala.
Many now turn against the Japanese. But other nationalists, led by Ibrahim Yaqub's KMM, have not given up hope that the occupiers might still further their cause of independence.
By June 1945, the Japanese knew that the tide had turned against them for sure. They were losing, so suddenly the big bosses decided that they should give more attention to Malay nationalism.
Realizing that time is running out, Yaqub calls his followers to a grand assembly in Kuala Lumpur to proclaim Merdeka, independence. The meeting is scheduled for the 17th of August, 1945.
Congress was to be held in the Station Hotel in Kuala Lumpur, and then the declaration would be made there. Ibrahim Yaqub would announce it in Malay, my father would announce it in English.
But on the 6th of August 1945 comes world-shattering news. The Americans dropped the world's first atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. 3 days later, a second weapon devastates Nagasaki. On the 15th, Japan surrenders. The atom bomb not only knocks Japan out of the war, it blasts Malayan independence off the political map.
Suddenly, Japan surrendered, and that's why my father cried, because between the surrender and the declaration of independence for Malaya, it was only 48 hours, and he had craved for independence for so long, and it was a very sad time for him.
The war is over, or so it seems. But the British armies have yet to reach Malaya. As a consequence, there is a power vacuum, and the communist MPAJA steps forward to take credit for victory.
The town had 2-3 days of all-out celebration. Chinese flags came out, Soviet flags came out, Japanese flags were torn, burned. You see big banners, welcome the liberators of Malaya. They told the people the country is liberated by them.
It's time to settle scores with anyone, either Malay or Chinese, who threw in their lot with the Japanese. The NPAJA set up people's courts to try alleged traitors and collaborators. In a cruel adaptation of Japanese tactics, they invite local people to betray their neighbors.
Any victims who had suffered will go to the People's Court to make a report, and they will take immediate action.
Teenager J.J. Raj is an eyewitness to the travesty of justice that now unfolds.
I watched their kangaroo courts. A lot of people are assembled, and they call out one name. See? So the fellow is brought in. He's already arrested. These are so-called people working for the Japanese, so-called traitors. The prosecutor reads out. There are various offences this man has committed, this and this. That the